When I think back to my first interaction with literacy, I am brought back to my second grade classroom. This was probably one of the toughest years for me in school. Yes, second grade. I had been recently diagnosed with ADHD, and sitting in a classroom was a next to impossible task for me, especially during independent reading time.
All right, friends, find your independent reading book and find a space to read. It's time to use our quiet mouths and settle down.
I didn't have control over my body, and it was nearly impossible for me to keep still. My teacher didn't have any patience for me, and I was constantly sent into the hallway.
Jessica, go sit in the hallway. You're distracting the entire class.
I spent most of second grade sitting in the hallway. I never really understood why I was there, because most of the time I wasn't even aware of my fidgeting. And I didn't understand why I was the distraction to the class, because to me everything else was a distraction.
Okay, Jessica, you can come back in the classroom now if you agree to sit still and read.
Anyway, back to independent reading time. I love the idea of reading and stories, and I wanted nothing more than to be able to sit on the carpet and read a book for the 30 minutes we were given. But this didn't happen. I hadn't been able to stay still and focused for long enough to even have learned how to read at the level of the rest of my classmates. This was very discouraging. I would look around the room, and all my classmates would be reading chapter books. My best friend was reading books that were at the fourth grade reading level. Each day I would pick out a different chapter book that I wanted to read and just stare at each page and pretend I was reading it. My teacher never noticed that I wasn't actually reading the books I picked up because she was too focused on my fidgeting.
Jessica, if you don't stop that, I'm going to send you back in the hallway.
I never told my parents about getting in trouble at school because I was afraid they would be disappointed with me, and I never really knew why I was getting in trouble. My mom knew that I was behind in reading and it wasn't improving, so she signed me up for a one-on-one reading program for the summer before third grade. Once all the distractions of a classroom were removed, and I had someone that actually took the time to teach me not only how to read, but methods to control my hyperactivity, I was able to read the chapter books that all my friends were reading. I went into third grade caught up, and even ahead of some of my classmates in my reading level. This was a huge confidence booster, and my love for reading flourished. I was able to get immersed in a book and sit still for some of my independent reading periods.